I know it takes a couple of minutes for people to be told that I'm on a live, so I thought, you know what? While I've got the car running, it's warming up. I'm doing my green shake, rattle and roll. We're trying to chase the sunrise, and the sunrise happens in 4 minutes, and I'm about 6 minutes away from the beach. So we're going to miss the actual sunrise, but if you look behind me, it's a bit cloudy. So it's a bit cloudy. So we're probably still not going to miss the sunrise. We're just going to miss the sunrise with the clouds over it. So we're okay. What I'm trying to say. But yeah, we're just getting ourselves organised. The car is still warming up. Whew. And I'm Dora. And it is my Wednesday. Hey, how you going? It's 3:27 p.m. Central. So you're in America. Hey, Rudy, how you going? Yeah. So it is 6:27 a.m. on Wednesday morning here, Rudy. And I'm about to see the sunrise. So if you're into that, stay around. I'm about to put you down because in Australia we can't drive and hold the phone. So I'm going to put you down. It's going to be like a podcast with Dora for about 5 minutes. The car's warmed up. Let's go. I'll put the sunroof open for you so you can see that. There you go. Enjoy that, Rudy, if you stick around. But we are heading to the beach. So, Rudy, I'm 6 minutes away from the beach. Probably about 6 minutes. 5-6 minutes. So the sun is rising earlier every day now at the moment, Rudy. Because in Australia, we're in winter, but we're heading to spring. Cannot wait for spring. So the 1st of September is spring for us in Australia. Is it spring? Yeah, spring, yeah. So I don't know what date you turn to autumn in America. But yeah, I am ready for spring, ready for summer. Look, where I live in southeast Queensland in a place called Redcliffe by the coast. It's actually quite nice as in like the weather temperament. Like I'm just driving past a guy, he's wearing shorts. I'm wearing leggings. So so it's not that cold. It's not like Canada cold in winter, like snow or ice. Though in saying that, down in Victoria, there's certain parts in the Alps, it is snowing. Maybe not snowing so much, but there's snow on the mountains kind of thing. It has snowed this year. But yeah, not in my state. It has to get really, really, really cold. There's a place called Stanthorpe. One of my mates that's sometimes on the chat, Farm Cow, his name's Craig. He lives in Stanthorpe. And Stanthorpe is just kind of on the border of Queensland and New South Wales. Not really, but it's near the border of New South Wales. But it gets really cold there in winter. And it has flurries of snow. So only on like a certain day or something like that. So like it'll be over now. Like I think we've had it. The cold snaps. I mean, mind you, it was like 8 degrees when I woke up at 6 a.m. So, that's cold. But yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm going to be back in a second, okay? I'm just doing hand language over the sunroof. We're just driving down to the beach. It's now 6:30 a.m. This is the time the sun is supposed to rise. Now, I'm not that disappointed because guess what? If I could show you the sky right now, it is completely cloudy. So we're not even going to see the sunrise, guys. Oh no. That noise, I'm shaking my green juice. I buy green juice green powder from the health food shop. Like, I do eat a lot of greens, but our greens are depleted because our earth is depleted now. Like, by putting chemicals in the ground, we're actually killing the ground. So yeah, so when we buy these vegetables, they're not full of the nutrients that we're normally supposed to get in our bodies. So just saying, I supplement with having a green juice. I definitely don't rely on the green juice, just got to eat greens. I love greens. I love salad. And people that subscribe to me know that I like to grow my own food. I'm not a homesteading channel, guys. I know it sounds weird. Okay, so we've literally just got down the beach, just finding a park, and we are not going to see the sunrise, guys. We might see a little bit in about 10-15 minutes, but it is literally cloudy. But I don't mind these skies. They're actually very romantic. Like, and what I mean by that is, like, it's very beautiful skies. It's pinks and purples and blues and cloudy, mysterious, you know? All right, let's close that up. Turn the car off so we can legally hold the phone. I can hold the phone. Look at this, guys. Okay, guys, we've got to get out there. Got to get out there. That's where the sun rises. So it's a bit cloudy. Oh yeah, look, there you go. There it is there. That's the sun rising behind the clouds. We did it, guys. We did it. It only took us 7 minutes to get down here, guys. 7 minutes. Anyway, I'm Dora. If you'd like to come on a beach walk with me, we're going to pick up some sea glass because we like to pick up sea glass. Now, I have headphones with me. And I wanted to try using these headphones today. The last time I used the headphones, everyone complained that it was too wishy-washy. Susan, hello. I was literally just kind of talking about your region, the Alps of Victoria, and how it's snowy down there. Is it snowy at the moment? How are you anyway? Good morning, how are you going? Good. Guys, here's my sunrise. Susan. The sun is rising right this minute, but I don't know if you can see that. It's a bit cloudy down there, but that's okay. I love these mornings, right, guys, where it's quite low tide. So you've got the sand exposed, like little sand islands, little sand banks. And this rays of the sun on the water, it's just so pretty. It's like I said, it's kind of romantic. So there's the sun rising there. That's the sun rising, guys. But because it's cloudy, I don't hate that. I love that, actually. That to me is very mysterious. So this is what we're going to do, guys. You know I'm going to do a jumping for joy, right? I have to. So I want to do... Now, I didn't wear my old running shoes that I normally wear to the beach, so I can't get wet, guys. Oh, I'm just finding a really good place for a jump. All right, we're going to get back up here, okay, guys? Hey, Susan, you had to log back in. I was just saying, I was literally just talking about your region because, you know, in southeast Queensland, we don't get any snow. Actually, Queensland, we don't get any snow. Because someone was on the chat that, you know, they're American and, yeah, we're winter, they kind of, you know. Oh, I was just saying that we don't get snow. But look at the sun rise behind me. It's beautiful. Oh, guys, that is gorgeous. Yeah, but no snow at the moment. But do you have any snow on the ground at the moment? Okay, Susan. That is just gorgeous, guys. I can't get enough of that. That is just, wow. And look at the rays. See the rays coming up? Oh, to me, I'm not overly religious, okay, Susan? I don't know if you're religious. But to me, that's like glorious. Like that's God, the universe, Buddha, everyone talking to me saying, hello, have a good day. Look at those rays. Just, oh my gosh. It's just a moment. Oh, to be elated and to be joyful, to be grateful that we're alive. And that's why I do these jumping for joys. I know that people think I'm strange. Okay, so if I go that way, okay, so I need to do a jumping for joy, guys, and I'm trying to make it so that I don't get wet going over to these little island. But see, when I go down, whoops, let's go down. Okay, I'm gonna flip you around. The selfie camera is not the best camera, obviously, for this, but we're gonna do it anyway, because otherwise I can't see myself. Oh, I need a flat ground. There we go. Okay. We're set up. Let's go. How was that? So you've had a pinch of snow here. You get to see it twice this morning. Oh yeah, you do. So what time's it? Has it risen over down your way yet? God, it's beautiful. Look at that. Wow. That is so beautiful. Oh. So enough about me, Susan. How are you going? What's happened with your property? Last time we spoke, you had lost your greenhouse. Any sign of it? I'm hoping that it was found by pure miracle and it's intact, that you get to get it back. Oh, I'm sorry, Susan. I can see your chat. Thank you for putting it in caps because I can see it better in caps. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And there we go, we get the rake. Oh my goodness. Hello. So guys, I'm still here. I'm just taking in that. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot. If I disappear, you know what happened? It didn't work. And it turned off my whole live. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, now it's so sunny I can't even see the screen. Yesterday I spent writing my next article for the paper. That's great. You're not very happy with it. What's the topic about, Susan, that you're writing about? Hi, how you going? I can't read that. Manly Off the Grid. Hey, that's an interesting channel, because High Country Homestead is a homesteading channel in the Alps of Victoria, Australia, and I'm Australian, And it sounds like your channel's about off-grid living. And Susan lives off the grid. And I'm into off-grid living because my mum lives off the grid in Mullaney. And I live in suburbia. And you're watching my sunrise here in Australia, in southeast Queensland. So can you please tell us about your channel? Because Susan would be interested. See, Susan's already said hello to you. She's loves off-grid living and she likes to connect with people that are off-grid living too. And I'd love to connect with you. Please tell us about your channel. Where are you from? Susan, put a link to your channel in the chat. You can do that. Because I reckon you guys could connect for sure. So guys, we are walking soon, but I really want to take that in, guys. Like sometimes we need to slow down to speed up, if you know the term, or smell the roses kind of moment. Like I'm so much like, let's go, 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 go. But sometimes we just need to slow down because that sunrise is about to go on under that cloud, and we will not have a sunrise anymore. We'll just have clouds. So I just thought I'd show you that. Hey, watercolor with Curry, how you going? Curry, this is the future sunrise for you. So Curry, I finished my training for that walk because I know you were on the chat when I started my I think I connected on a live with you and Karen, I think, but I know you jumped on one of my lives and saw me walking for purpose for mental health. That was 2 weeks ago now, and I've just got to get back into my walking. I've had yeah, or maybe it was a week ago. I think it was a week ago. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Anyway, it's time to get walking again. I just want to stay and just watch this sunrise for just a minute because, I'm in no hurry, right? In life, I think we're in a hurry for this, hurry for that. I'm so to blame. I'm busy being busy all the time. So I'm nailing myself down, literally, not moving, because that's so beautiful. I will talk to you guys in a minute. I really want to just take this in, guys, because it is glorious. As I said before, I'm not religious, but in these kind of moments, I just think everything's possible. I mean, I think all things are possible, right? There's a saying, right? I read a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. It's by Norman Vincent Peale. I don't know if anyone's read that. It's actually quite religious. But as I said, I'm not overly religious. I believe in all faiths. I think, the Buddhist faith is beautiful. I love it. The Hindi faith, the Muslim faith in its right is actually very, very beautiful. The call to prayer, I absolutely adore. Christianity, because most of us are, from a Christian faith background. Most people, or I'm not saying most people, but most people that follow me, I presume. And I might have been baptized Christian, but I don't go to church religiously. I just went through a spell when I was in Samoa that I went to church every Sunday, and that was purely to see the customs and see the singing. When I was in France, I went to church again to see the customs, to see the singing, because obviously I didn't understand what they were saying. But yeah, when you see a sunrise, I just think there's so much hope for this world that we can all live together, regardless of our faith. I don't know. That's in my head. That's what I wish we could do. When I look at sunrises, I just see all the hope. I know the reality is a different thing, guys, but just for this moment, let me just pretend. Let me just hope that this wish, happens. Because I do wish that. And you guys, please chat in the chat because, you don't need to listen to my dribble. So, guys, you just missed a jumping for joy. So, hey, guys. Hey, Curry, how you going? And who else we got here? We've got mainly off the grid. So, hi, how you going? I know you probably said some stuff in the chat. I'd love to connect with you too. Hopefully, Susan has put her link in the chat so you could actually, there you go, Susan's done it. So that you guys can connect with her, because I love how people can connect in lives. I mean, that's how I connect with Kari. So Kari, if you're still there, let me just see the name of your full channel. Oh my gosh, it's up here somewhere. Oops, I've lost you, the name of this channel. Watercolors with Kari, I think it is. Yep, there we go. Watercolor with Kari. So Kari does watercolors, and I connect with Kari because I love watercolor painting. I am a novice. When I travel, I have a little watercolor set that I take and I paint. But funnily enough, I'm not traveling at the moment, and this Saturday or Friday night, your guys' time in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm doing a live with Kathleen's Place, and she does acrylics. So we are going to have a chat while we do some artwork together. Like, I'm not here to teach at all because I'm not a teacher. I just want to get inspired. And I get inspired by, nature. Like, I was doing a live yesterday at a beautiful spot called, let me start walking, guys. I was doing a walk at a beautiful spot called, it's just north of here. It's in the same area I live in, Redcliffe, but it's a different, suburb of Redcliffe. It's called Scarborough. Okay, sorry, guys, I have to just stop for a second. See the reflection here in the water here? I love that. The clouds, look at that. So beautiful. So beautiful. And the rocks, because it's so low tide at the moment, the rocks are exposed. Normally you don't see these rocks. Yeah, so yesterday I was walking in a place called Scarborough, and it shows you the red cliffs of Redcliffe. And one of my friends on the chat said, you should paint that. And I was like, yes, I do. So I did a screenshot. So I'm going to see if I can paint that on Saturday morning. Normally how I paint is because when I travel, is that, I'm in front of something really inspiring, and I stop and I sketch it and then I paint it. That's how normally what I try to do. Carrie, how do you paint normally? Is that how you paint, or do you have a picture and then you paint it? Like, I've done that too. That's what I'm going to do, obviously, on Saturday. So guys, I'm just catching up on the chat because I'm slow like that. So Carrie, High Country Homestead is Susan. She's my fellow Australian. I also met her on a live. I don't know if you know The Source 479. He's a mate of Jazz and I. We did a 30-day challenge, video challenge together last August and September. So I don't know if you can see this, guys. There's some swimmers in the water here. So it's winter here in Australia, but these swimmers go all year round. They have wetsuits and they just swim. So they just go in from here and then they go swim, 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 all the way up there to Scott's Point, where I normally walk to. But how gorgeous is that? So yeah, it'd be a bit cold, I reckon, but it's not that cold, to be honest. It's not like, it's about 16 degrees at this present moment here. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. And we also have mainly off-grid. Mainly off-grid, could you tell us what your first name is, if you didn't mind? That way I can call you by your first name instead of mainly off-grid. It's nice to know people's first names. I like to use it. Oh, so Susan, is this channel already following you? Look at that, guys. Oh, that is so beautiful. So Susan, sounds like mainly off-grid you've already subscribed to and you've been on their lives. Oh, that's good. So mainly off grid, is that the name of your channel? Because I'll screenshot you and check you out too, because I love off grid living. It's, oops, I'm trying to screenshot. Oops. Guys, if this live gets cancelled, it's because when I screenshot it, I turned you off. Just saying. There you go, I did a screenshot. So my mum lives off grid, about an hour and 15 minutes away from me, and she lives completely, off grid. And it's beautiful to see. She's 76 years old this October, and she's still living off grid by herself. And I know that Susan also lives off grid in the Alps of Victoria as a single mum, and she's doing it like my mum, and she's definitely going to be like my mum, trooping along. So I live in suburbia. So this place I live is called Redcliffe. Good morning, how are you going? So it's kind of like a beachside village. So I literally live in 500 square meters. I don't know if you know whatever that means in whatever centimeters or whatever you use. But it's not a huge block, but it's not a small block. Like we actually have a front, side, and backyard. And I even grow things on my deck. So I did a live the Sunday before. Susan was on it, and I showed how I basically get seedlings from the local market and I plant them in planter pots because we're renovating our house at the moment. And so we've got chickens in our backyard, and they're roaming free. We have a cage for them that they go in themselves at night time to sleep or lay their eggs, but they just run around the backyard. But we normally have two areas where we grow food, like grow vegetables, but that the chickens can't get into because the chickens do try to get into all your food. Just saying. Um, but now that we're renovating the house, we've opened all the gardens up, so we don't actually have anywhere we can actually grow stuff without the chickens attacking it, except the front yard. But the front yard is actually overrun at the moment with tomatoes. We've got tomatoes growing everywhere. I didn't even plant the tomatoes this season. They've just gone nuts from the seeds. So I love that. I like growing food from, food we get from the supermarket and then putting that back in the ground. You know how you can do that with bok choy? You cut the tops of your bok choy and eat that, your Asian greens, and then you put the bottom of the bok choy into the ground. So I do that sometimes. Pineapples, take the tops of pineapples when you get them and then put them in the ground, and then we get pineapples, growing. So we've got lots of pineapples growing in the backyard, in the front yard. Chickens don't attack them, which is great. But that's why I'm growing things in planter pots at the moment, on my deck, so that I can get fresh mixed lettuce for my salads. I love having salads for my lunches. So anyway, that's a little bit about me and my off grid lifestyle, which is not off grid obviously, but my homesteading. Okay, let's go with homesteading. So yeah, so my channel, I should do a spruik of my channel. Hi, I'm Dora, and we just watched the sunrise, and it's beautiful. It's my home in Redcliffe, Australia, and my channel is called Explorer Dora 80 because my alter ego is Dora. My name is not really Dora; it is a nickname. I do tell people that, but people do call me Dora, and that's okay. My friends here in my personal life call me Dora because I like to explore. And I used to live in Mexico, and I did a lot of exploring in Mexico. But in Espanol, explorer is explorer, Xplora. Um, so I use that as Explorer Dora, and then 80. I wasn't born in 1980. I was born in the 70s. I'm a 70s baby. Gen X are here. I just turned 50 this year. So I am grateful to be on this earth because not everyone makes it to 50, hey. So I know a lot of us go, oh my God, midlife crisis, buy a shiny red Corvette. I mean, no, not really, but you know what I'm saying. But I actually, well, I went on holidays instead. So my May birthday, I went to Samoa, and then I ended up going to a wedding in France, and then I went to Luxembourg. Let's just say my May birthday this year was amazing. So if that was a midlife crisis, I'm there for it. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah, so 80 means I wasn't born in 1980. but let me stop and have the rest of my green juice while I talk. So I would like to go to 80 countries. So that's what my channel is about. Explorer Dora. So exploring Dora, because she's my alter ego and she likes to explore. And I'd like to visit 80 countries one day. So yeah, so I'm up to country number 62. That was Luxembourg back in May. And I say that not to show off, but you know, I'm serious about travel. I love travel, even though my channel, you know, you'll see me walking on the beach, seeing a sunrise, talking about doing lives about watercolor, planting stuff in my backyard, chasing animals like, you know, showing you platypuses and kangaroos and koalas. Because to me, that's an adventure, right? Like, yes, I might want to travel to 80 countries, but I don't travel every day, right? You know, I'm not that person. I'm just living my best life here. And yes, sometimes I travel, but the other times I'm at home exploring. And your backyard, you can explore your backyard. Like, doesn't matter where you live. I mean, I'm lucky I live next to the beach. So if that is interesting to you or not, doesn't matter. Let's walk. Wow. Mother Nature is amazing. Amazing. Oh, Susan, I'm listening. I'm reading this chat. It says, yes, I don't see real people often. So when I'm in a chat, I don't stop. I love that, Susan. So mainly off grid. Whereabouts do you live? Do you live in Maine? I read something. I think Carrie said I love Maine. Hey, Mike, how you going? Mike Adventure Sparks is my new friend. He's from Minnesota. We actually met in a live too, didn't we? Yes, we met. Whose live was I in? Oh, I was in someone's live and we met connected because actually no, I met you in the chat of Rob Marentiner's no, his comments. So that's just one of the ways I find try to connect with other people, like-minded channels, is I look at the comments on different people's, you know, videos, and if I see a handle like Mike's Adventures Sparks, I thought, oh, that resonates with me. It's venture. So it must be a guy called Mike that likes to adventure. So let's check him out. So I went and checked his page out, and he does adventures. So I thought I'll give him a subscribe. And then he came over. Obviously, I commented on a couple of his videos. So he then came over to my channel. And yes, Mike, you've checked out a lot of my videos. So I have a lot of your videos to, you know, return the favor. So that's really nice. Thanks, Mike, for, you know, checking out my page. And obviously my page resonated with you, which is great. And you subscribed to me. And you've been on a couple of my lives now. So, Mike, welcome to my local beach. This is where I live, Redcliffe. It's a seaside village. Just the front here's got a lot of, you know, apartment living, of course, because, you know, you're on the beach. I don't live on the beach. I live about 6 minutes away, that away, not that away, because that's the ocean. This is a bay here, guys. This is Moreton Bay. And you have people swimming here. Oh, they didn't go that far, guys. I don't know. They didn't go that far. Normally they swim all the way down there, but they've just kind of just in here. So there are swimmers that swim all year round here. So this is Moreton Bay, and then that island over there, if I zoom in, is Moreton Island. So that's a beautiful island. Very sandy, obviously. It is whale season, so over on the point there, you'll see whales. There's a whale boat that leaves from here. So this is the beach I've been walking on for the last couple of years, training for that 30-kilometre walk that I just did for mental health. So yeah, and I'm back into training because like I might not be training for a particular walk right this minute, but I do like to keep fit. I do like to try to get 10,000 steps done a day because I know kilometers, miles is completely different. But 10,000 steps would be about 7 kilometers. I don't know what it'd be in miles, guys, but I think you know steps. So I like to try to do 10,000 steps a day for health and fitness. For health and fitness, I actually recommend the cardio fitness. Wow, look at that, guys. That is an amazing picture. It looks like the sky, the water, and the sand all are one thing. Let me just screenshot that. That's gorgeous. They recommend that you do 15,000 steps for cardiovascular health. Here I am drinking my green juice because, and I think mainly off grid and Susan, this will resonate with you because, you know, we can buy veggies from the supermarket or the farmer's market, right? We don't know exactly where it comes from and the chemicals they put in it, right? I'm not saying that I am completely organic because I do buy things from, the fresh, the grocer and stuff, and I do buy things from the supermarket if I have to. That are all, they're sprayed with chemicals, right? And where they've been grown, because they've been using chemicals, the ground has been depleted of all the natural, minerals and nutrients that normally go into the food that we eat. So, back in the day, you didn't need to use supplements like, vitamins and green powder, right? But now, because like most of us don't grow our own food, right? So mainly off grid, I'm sure you probably do grow some of your food. And Susan, I know, does grow a lot of her food. Well, actually, you must grow all your food because Susan, in the last 2 years, has only left her property about 8 times. So that just tells you how sufficient, self-sufficient she is on her channel. And I think that's amazing. And it's such a tribute. And she does it herself. She's a solo homesteader. So if that resonates with you guys, you need to check her page out because honestly, that resonates with me. I think, like, I put my hands up and go, I mean, that's what I think we should all be, striving for. So in my little 500 square meter block, I do grow some vegetables and I have some fruit. So I have oranges, which are so tasty. But again, guys, my land, you know, it's also depleted because you've got to put stuff back into the ground too, right? So like we have chickens. That's why we have chickens and they poop everywhere, I'm going to say. So we put the poop back into the earth. But, I probably don't put enough and I probably am not diligent enough. Look, honestly, I'd love to full time do that. Look, I think I could say this. I wish I had two lives. It'd be a full time traveler, and it would be a full time off grid liver. Two different lives, but they meet together in my life. If that makes any sense. So that's why I do take supplements and I do take green juice because I'm not getting enough green stuff out of my food and vegetables. I don't rely on this stuff, obviously, but you know, I think most of us could agree that young people of today are living in a completely different culture than a lot of us grew up or our parents grew up, that they got a lot of better nutrients from the plants and the vegetables. A lot of the food now is very, processed. You know, like I'll be honest, right? I'm a 50-year-old child, a 50-year-old person, right? But 50 years ago, we didn't have the luxury of just going down the road and getting McDonald's, right? That just wasn't a thing that we did, you know? Now it is a thing we do. McDonald's is, food that anyone can get 24 hours a day. This little place I live in, we've got about 30,000 people that live here, and there is two McDonald's. There used to be three McDonald's. One McDonald's closed down. I can't believe it closed down, hey? But it did close down, unheard of. We've got like two McDonald's, we've got KFC, we've got two Pizza Huts, we've got Domino's Pizza, we've got all the fast food, Hungry Jack's or Burger King, you want to call it. all the, the fast food places, right? So yeah, and we've got one fruit shop, fruit and vegetable shop. And then on the weekends, we have a local market here that you can get fresh fruit and vegetables. So a lot of people do go there. We get ours from that. But, most young people these days, I'm just generalizing, don't do that. It's all that processed food. I mean, Anyway, ramble off. I will go back to the chat. Look, guys, I'm probably going to go right down to the bottom because I think I've lost a lot. Hey, Turkey's Nest, where are you from? So, Mike, High Country Homestead. Actually, Susan, can you drop your link in the bottom of the chat again? That way they can find you, because your channel's not actually called High Country Homestead, is it? So, Mike, Susan will drop her chat, her link in the bottom. Hey, Deb, how you going? So, Deborah Warwick, guys, is my friend from Spring, Texas. She's actually on holidays in Colorado up in the mountains at the moment. So, yeah, guys, that is High Country Homestead, Susan that I'm referring to, who is a single mum living on the land, self-sufficient in the Alps of Victoria. So, yeah, just like down the road and around the corner from me. I'm being sarcastic, guys. She's a very far distance away from me. It'd be about a 10-hour drive, probably more actually. So if I drove from here, where I live, on southeast Queensland, to Sydney, because everyone knows Sydney, right? It would take, look, I could probably do it in 9-10 hours if I had two drivers and we, just changed the drivers quite a bit. So to get to Melbourne, I've never driven to Melbourne, driven to Sydney, but I've never driven to Melbourne. I would fly. It takes an hour and a half on a plane, and it's probably cheaper than the fuel it would cost to drive down there. But if I drove down to Melbourne, or to Victoria, should I say, the Alps where Susan lived, because I've got to say, I would love to see where Susan lived. And it would probably take, me driving by myself. I'd have to do an overnighter. I've got to be serious. Like, it's not safe to drive that long any distance by yourself, I think. So it would probably take me 2 days. But why take 2 days? I'd take 3 or 4 days just to enjoy the road trip. Love a road trip. So Susan, one day I will come visit your land, right? Just putting it out there. I know I'm inviting myself, but I'd love to see where you live. So Mike, you're from Colorado originally. Wow. Can I ask how you ended up in Minnesota then? Turkey Nest. You're from far north Queenslander. Oh, wow, we have another Queenslander. Oh, wow. So Turkey Nest, I'm Dora, who's holding this chat live. Oh, I've got green stuff all on my lips. Yeah. That's a bit weird. Um, I'm showing you where I live. I live in Redcliffe, so in southeast Queensland. So hello, Queenslander. I love that I'm connecting with other Australians. Sorry, guys. I know that a lot of you guys are from America, like Warwick. Sorry, Deb and Mike, and Kari. If you're still there, she's from America. I'm sure she's from America. Is she from America? I'm not sure. I think she is. But Susan, which is Homestead Made Easy, sorry, High Country Homestead. She's from the Alps of Victoria. So hey, Queenslanders and Australians, woo, 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 Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Okay, anyway, let me finish my juice. So this is Redcliffe, Turkey Nest. Do you have a first name, Turkey Nest? Do you mind if I ask your first name? I just like to call people by their first names. It's just easier than saying, hey, Turkey Nest, where are you from? Turkey Nest. What's your channel about? All right, I finished my juice. Now I'm going to have some water. So, Turkey Nest, you say you're from far north Queensland. Are you from Cairns area, Daintree, Toowoomba? That's not Toowoomba. Townsville kind of area? Where from? Water, the choice of the new generation. All right, guys, now we can walk. Have you heard of Redcliffe Turkey Nest? Hey, Mike, I'm just going to change some permissions here. Let me just do something here as a moderator standard. So, Mike, so guys, in the channel, in the chat is Mike Adventurous Sparks. He's going to drop his channel name in the chat too. So you guys can check him out. He's only, relatively new to the YouTube world. And, we're all about supporting each other. And I don't openly say, like, don't do a sub for sub. Like, that's, I don't think that really works. But I always say, please put your, talk about your channel in the chat. And if that resonates with someone in the chat, check each other out, like, and support each other. But, only if that channel resonates with you. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a gamer, right? And I don't connect with gaming channels because if you connect with channels that are not really your kind of themes, or you're going to start seeing stuff that gaming, and I don't want to see gaming stuff. I'm going to be honest, I just don't like gaming. No beef if you like gaming, but I'm not going to purposely connect with a channel that's gaming because it just doesn't resonate with me. But you do, you guys. The Redcliffe Dolphins, yes. We finally got our own team. So I grew up mainly in this area. It's interesting. A lot of people say, like, it's so weird, Dora. You're like a big traveler. I love traveling, but you never have left, like, not as in I have left, but you haven't moved away from your hometown. And, like, I'm going to be honest, guys, why would I move away from this? Look at this. This is my local beach. I know it's not the Gold Coast with white sandy beaches and it's got no surf, but I don't surf, guys. I don't surf. Down the end of this beach here is a place called Scott's Point. It's a little cove. That's where I go swimming, and it's beautiful. I love where I live. I love being able to, like, for example, I went for a walk yesterday afternoon, and just north of here, about 15 minutes, same area where I live, Redcliffe, but just another suburb. And I ran into my school friend that I went to primary school with. And we're going out this Saturday night to celebrate her 50th birthday at a local pub. Actually, we're going to where the Dolphins are, the Redcliffe Dolphins Leagues Club. That's where we're going, our local. And, I'll probably run into other locals that I know. And then when I was at the beach yesterday afternoon, I ran into another guy. I didn't go to school with him, but I know him from my, when I used to go to the pubs here back in the day. I love being able to run into friends. I don't know if you pick up, but, I like to have a chat. I like to know about people. That's why I ask people's names, and I want to know where they live, about a little bit about their where they live. I'm interested. I think we should all be interested about other people. But anyway, that's me. But that's why I choose to stay where I live, where I went to school. I went to primary school and high school here. I was born in the Brisbane hospital, and then my parents moved to the country, a place called Kilcoy, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away from here, but it's a country. So I am a country girl originally, believe it or not. And that's probably why I like off-grid living and I'm into off-grid living. That's why I really connect with Susan and I love her ethos of life. And that's why when other channels that are kind of that kind of ethos are on there, I always ask about them because I grew up in that kind of stuff. My mum and dad are big greenies. My dad is no longer with us, but he was an environmentalist. He wrote the first book of its kind in Australia. It's a dictionary of botanical names, and I actually still sell that book for my dad. So my dad was into, yeah, the environment and saving it, and knowing what each botanical name of the native plants of Australia are about. So he wrote the first of dictionary of its kind. Now people can just look it up online, but the book still ticks over. So the book has been out. My dad is self-published. It's probably been out for about 30 years, and he used to sell it from his house. And since his death, well, before he died, he got it completely revamped. And after he died, we got it self-published again in a new format, which was all his ideas to his format, and we still sell it. So he's been passed away 8 years this year, and that book has been out for 7 years as a new A5 size. And people, people that love native plants in Australia buy that book. So I'm so proud of that. And so that's the genes I come from. And my mum, as I said, she's 75, 76 this year, lives on land up in Mullaney, which is the hinterland of the Sunshine Coast, and she's completely off grid. And she lives on that land by herself, right? She kills her own chickens. I call it mini Indonesia, right? So I'm half Indonesian, half Australian. Actually, that's where I was going before. I was telling you that my nickname is Dora. My real name is Mutiara. I think most of you guys know that. I do talk about this a bit. So my nickname is Dora. My friends call me Dora. My travel friends call me Dora. My alter ego is Dora. But my real name is Mutiara. 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 So it's Indonesian for the word pearl. So my mum's Indonesian, my dad's Australian, and they wanted to give their first daughter a really unusual name. They win, because everyone's like, what? What's your name? Huh? How do you say that? So I have friends that still can't say my name. My little niece, she calls me Bibi. So Indonesian, auntie is Bibi. So, like, for example, when I visit Indonesia, like in February this year, I took my mum back to Indonesia, and my niece and my sister came too. So my niece is 7 years old. So it was a great immersion for my niece to, see a different culture. And she just literally went to France actually to see her other grandparents who are living on a boat and going down like the rivers in France. So she's got a great cultural immersion at the moment. She's a great year actually for her as a 7-year-old, going to France to see her grandparents, living on a boat, though they're Australian. And then her other grandmother, my mum, going to visit her homeland in Indonesia, where she's from. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I do have, my background is very much about living off the land and plants, and that's why I like hiking, being out in nature. My dad was a big walker. Our parents shape us, as much as some people don't like that because maybe they didn't have a nice upbringing, and I get that. I'm very grateful that I had the upbringing I had. But yeah, that's why I am so into off-grid living, and I love growing my own food and non-chemical cooking and growing is so up my alley because I'm just into that. If I don't have to be medicated, I'd rather not be. If I can do it from the land and by natural stuff, I'm all about that. You won't find me getting Botox or the big lips. Not my thing. And that's yours, that's great. It makes you look beautiful, awesome. But I'm all about natural beauty. I think beauty is within. But that's me. And those kind of channels are probably never going to follow me, and that's okay. I don't want them to follow me. So guys, we're just coming down to Lavender's Rock. Now, someone that I've met in the chat from doing these lives, for this training that I've been doing, that I now's finished, I come down to this, I normally walk down here and I significantly kick the rock. I don't hit it hard, but it signifies the end of my beach, walk this side. Then I walk the cove all the way down to that rock down there. Let me zoom in. That's Scott's Point, where I like to go for a cheeky little swim, because it's like a little cove. It's like a secluded beach. No, I don't do any naked swimming or anything like that, guys. But, and then I kick a rock down that end. So that signifies as I've walked that end. So one day, I'm walking down and I'm kicking the rock like I normally do. And I keep on walking. And Lavender in the chat, she's from Australia too, goes, hey, that rock you just kicked is in the shape of a love heart. And of course, I'm halfway down the beach already, right? This is my personality, busy. And I'm trying to slow myself down, because as much as I have all this energy, it doesn't mean I have to be at it all the time, right? And that sayings, slow down to speed up, or smell the roses, means literally that. Stop. Stand where you are and appreciate where you are. That's why I stopped before, and I watched the sunrise, and I really looked at the sunrise and went, oh my god, how beautiful is that? What a blessing it is. How grateful I should be. And I think we should all feel like that about waking up in the morning, because let's face it, not everyone wakes up in the morning, right? Anyway, this rock here is now called Lavender's Rock, because look at it. It's in the shape of a love heart, guys. So now I'm stopping and smelling the roses and admiring the beauty of nature. That is a rock that's just, it wasn't cut like that. It's just a beautiful love heart shape, upside down. When you look at it this way, it doesn't look like a love heart, does it? And if you stop and look at it a little bit more, I really stop and slow down, it's got some quartz in it. How gorgeous is that? I love crystals. So yeah, and then here we've got mangroves, which, if you're an environmentalist, know that mangroves are really, really good for our ecosystem. And they've got these little sharp little things that they grow into. Oh, look, again, my dad was the environmentalist. I don't know a huge lot about, the native names for, our plants. But I'm happy to sell it for him. I mean, it's not like a business I do. It's like a side thing that I do just for my dad, a labour of love. My sister, who lives in Sydney, she's my half sister. I love this section here, guys. It's okay, let's leave our bucket there and concentrate. So my sister's my half sister. My dad was married before my mother, and they have my dad and my aunt, I call her, my half sister's mum, have a great relationship. They had a great relationship till he died. And my mum and my dad's first wife have a good friendship too. So it's really happy families. I call her my aunt, Auntie Lynn. She married, other guys and went on with her life. But yeah, they always continued to be friends. We used to have Christmases together sometimes with her partner, Tracy, my sister, my mum, my dad, the grandkids, and yeah, it was lovely. Beautiful this out here. Like, if you just kind of slow down a bit, you can kind of think, where are you? Like, you know, I could be anywhere. But, you know, if you look up here, then you're like in the high-rise area. Like, I'm in suburbia. If you look behind me, I feel like I'm in nature. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And you do have to be careful because, yeah, you don't want to get your ankle in here. And just like that, we're back out into the beach. My bucket, where I'm supposed to be collecting sea glass, but I haven't done that yet. It's all right. We don't have to do anything. So what's happening in the chat here? So Susan's talking you in about. Oh, Susan, have you got a video called From City to Job to Homestead? Can you put that video in the link in the chat? That way people can go check that out. Because I'd like to check that out. I haven't seen that video. Well, I'm glad you guys were able to connect here. That is awesome. Hey, Susan. So, I've actually got a random day off today. Today is supposed to be a work day, but the client that I work with is going to the Gold Coast. So anyway, so I've got a day off, but I needed a day off anyway. So thank you, universe, right? So Susan, you know Jayco trailers and pop-up campers and vans and stuff like that? Hey Lala, how you going? Welcome to the chat, or welcome to my live. We're walking along my local beach. We did a sunrise, but it's now behind the clouds, but that's okay, it's still beautiful. We're walking along a beach. It is my Wednesday morning here, and I'm just having a chat with Susan. Susan's about to put a link to one of her videos from city living to homesteading. So we're just talking in this chat at the moment about homestead living and how I'm really drawn to living off the land, but I live in suburbia. So Lala, I think you're into home, aren't you into, like, isn't your channel about healthy living? Don't you do like fitness stuff on your channel? Is that right, Lala? Yeah, because fit and flexy with Lala. So you're about healthy eating. Are you into off-grid living? I know my channel's not about off-grid living, guys, but I do like to talk about it, okay? And obviously today in the chat, High Country's Homestead is my friend Susan, and she lives off-grid in the Alps of Victoria, the Alpine of Victoria. And then we had someone else that was a homesteading channel. I think they've left the chat. They drop in and out. So we've been talking about homestead living. And then Turkey Nest, I don't think you told us your first name yet, but Turkey Nest is from northern Queensland, so the other state, the state that I live in. And Susan is encouraging him, I think, to make videos. I think, is that what you're trying to do? Or to do off-grid living? So Susan's just put a link about how she knew nothing about off-grid living and she's done it herself. So she's a single mum living on land by herself, like living on it, like making it all happen. Hey Susan, I was going to ask you, what animals do you have on your land? Because I was looking at, maybe it was your cover shot or maybe a thumbnail that had like alpacas and different animals, and I'm obsessed with alpacas or llamas. So do you have alpacas or llamas? She has 150 plus acres. So I don't know what that is in the northern hemisphere, but it's all I can say is there's a lot of land. My mum has a hobby farm and she's got 1.5 acres. And that's big enough for us. Well, it's big enough for her at 75 years old to look after by herself. So Susan, hats off to you that you have 160 acres to look after to yourself. Do you ever get people like, they're called woofers. I don't know what it's W-A, I don't know, it stands for something. Woofers means working on organic farms or something like that. Have you heard of that, Susan? So my mum used to have woofers come stay at her property. Like she would get females because she's a woman, she doesn't really want males around. But she would have like 20 something females that would come and want to live off the land, and like they would, for free rent, they would and free food, and my mum would feed them and house them, and they live on her, like they would help her do stuff on her property. And then at one stage my mum actually had a guy, he had his own he's living in a van, and mum gave him a shed to kind of live in too, but he stayed there for about a year and a half living off the land with my mum for free, but in exchange he would do things on my mum's land, like help her. So it's a really good mix. So do you ever do that, Susan? Because I reckon that would be very helpful for you. I know that you have a child on your land too, so that's something to think about, obviously. My mum didn't have to worry about that. She lives there by herself, but that is a responsibility to think about, I guess. You're too paranoid. Yeah, okay, I get it. So since then, my mum has built, she bought a donga. It cost about $10,000, and that was probably about 10 years ago, actually. And I helped kind of set it up. But unfortunately, my mum is a hoarder. And because she lived in Indonesia, well, she grew up in Indonesia, and the culture there is so different to the Western culture. Back in the day, they didn't have anything. So my mum now holds everything. And if she sees something like at the cheap shops, like something, she'll go, oh, I should buy that. So let's just say that her house, she lives in a shed. So my mum is off-grid living, and she doesn't actually live in a house. She lives in a Titan shed, like a double Titan shed that my dad built back in the day. And then she has an annex put on it. And then she's put another annex on it. So my partner's a builder. So he's built another annex onto it. So it's a shed with an annex and another annex on it. And then there's a donga at the other side of it that I've now cleaned up. 2 years ago, I went up there and I got a skip bin, and I chucked a lot of stuff away. I haven't made the video on it because out of my respect to my mum does watch my YouTube, so I don't really want her to see how I would retreat back to the donga and start crying about how horrible it was to fight with my mum about chucking stuff away. That's rubbish. Anyway, I'm still thinking about I should post it because I have these conversations with my mum all the time about hoarding, because it's not a good thing. I know it's a mental disorder. She does need help, but she won't take help. And when I go up there to do things, we fight about it all the time. So now at the moment, I just choose to go up there and hang out with my mum, let her feed me because she's an amazing cook. She cooks amazing Indonesian food. But yeah, it's a bit of an issue. So anyway, we have a donga up there, and it's got a bath, like a toilet in there. I don't have a shower, but I've got a toilet in there. Um, so I've actually been able to work up there sometimes. So I used to work from home for a while, so I used to be able to take my laptop up there and you know work from the donga, which is quite unique. It was quite fun actually. But at that time, I was trying to get rid of a lot of her stuff. So that was 2 years ago. And yes, it was a moment of my life. There seems to be a theme that every 2 years I go up there and dump stuff. I haven't taken on that challenge this year. I just don't want to fight with my mum at the moment about it, to be honest. Oh, turkey nest, sorry. Um, welcome to the world of like, I think a lot of people feel that way, that, stuck in the 9 to 5, doing something that, means nothing to them. And, we're just numbers too, the other thing. Like, our jobs don't care about us. They just want us to work, work, work. And then when you get home, you're like, what is it for? Especially when the cost of living is so high. So, look, I don't know what the answer is, mate. And I know you're not asking for the answer. Oh, guys, so this is why I take the bucket too. This is what we definitely want to pick up and chuck in the bin, because you don't want a turtle or a fish getting hooked by this. Can you imagine a turtle getting hooked by that? And they do. There's turtles out here, guys. Big, giant turtles, like 100 years old. So we're going to take that straight to the bin. There's a bin up there. Instead of putting it in my bucket. I just don't want to get hooked by it. There we go, just go like that. And we're going to take that to the bin. Okay, turkey nest, I think you need to watch the video. I think we all need to watch the video. And I think the other thing is turkey nest, and I think Susan, you can probably agree with this or disagree, that, social media, TV, advertising in general, make us think that we need all these things. And then we have these kind of, debt. I think the biggest thing is getting rid of debt. I think if you can get rid of some of your debt, I mean, look, I have a mortgage, a house mortgage. That's my debt. I do have a car payment that I have to pay, but I did that solely because I'm self-employed and I use my car for work. And sorry, guys, I'm obsessed with the clouds. I use my car for work, so it's a tax write-off. So that's why they say definitely get a loan for your car. So I have a car loan. But other than that, I don't have debt. I don't pay for holidays on debt. Like a lot of young people these days are paying for TVs on debt, their phones on credit. Afterpay, it's going nuts right now because everyone's buying stuff on credit, guys. So, turkey nest, I reckon if you can get yourself into a place of less debt, you've got more choices. Would you not agree, Susan? Deborah, Lavender is home, but on one of my last lives, her sister came in and said that she just was back in hospital because she got hit by a car. So I don't know if that's true or false, guys. That sounds like a lot. So our friend Lavender, that I was just telling you about, Lavender's Rock, she is only 15 and she has just been in hospital with breast cancer and had some surgery. But literally 2 days ago on on a live, her sister came in and said, hey, Lavender's just in hospital again. She's walking down the street with her friends and she got hit by a car. So apparently she's okay, but she was in hospital because she got hit by a car. That's all I know, Deb. Yeah, so I knew Susan. We've definitely got the same ethos in life. I'd love to actually, Susan, like, I know this is like weird, but not weird, but like, YouTube's great, right? But there's only so much you can say on YouTube chat and YouTube comments. Like, you can't really get to know a person that well. I mean, you can, but like, I try to, like, people that I really connect with, I try to get off the planet, off the platform, so that I can, what's up? Oh, look, there's Mr. Pelicans, guys. You guys know I love my pelicans. Oh, pelicans. So, Susan, in my bio is my email address. Could you send me an email and just say hi? That way I connected with you in email. That way we could, do you have WhatsApp? WhatsApp? Because, yeah, I just think that we are very similar people and I'd love to chat more about stuff with you. Maddie's duck, hello! Quack, quack, Maddie. Maddie, we have pelicans up here. I bet you love pelicans too. So everyone, Maddie the duck queen, no, Maddie the duck mama. Wasn't the duck queen a little while ago? Did you change that? Okay, maybe not. So Maddie the duck mama is my friend. She's from America. I actually met her on another live. I meet all you guys on lives, don't I? And you guys are connecting on the lives too, so that's great. Um, but Maddie loves ducks, and I love ducks, guys. I'm obsessed with a plastic duck I have. Um, it means a lot to me, this plastic duck. It travels with me when I go hiking or backpacking around the world, or even just traveling in Australia. So yes, I'm obsessed with ducks. I love watching ducks. I did this live last week. It happened to be that Maddie was on it, and we were just sitting down watching all these ducks, and they were beautiful. But Maddie, we have to look at the pelican, okay? Because we love pelicans. Okay, so you don't have WhatsApp, but that's right. We can write emails. That's all good. Yeah, send us an email, Susan. So Maddie, High Country Homestead, who just said hello to you, is Susan. So I try to refer to people by their first names. That's Susan. And then we've got Turkey Nest. Turkey Nest is from far north Queensland, so the same state I live in, Australia. So you're in a chat now, Maddie, with Australians. I don't know who else is in the chat now, but you are now. Oh yeah, Deborah. Sorry, Deborah Warwick is my friend. She's from Spring, Texas, but she's on holidays in Colorado at the moment. She just went to Denver. She said Denver was overcrowded, not so nice. So we've got 2 Americans and we have 3 Australians in the chat. Oh, and then we have Mike. Mike is from Minnesota. Originally, he's from Colorado. So, guys, I do remember stuff. Not always. Not always. Sometimes I have to ask people their name again in the chat. But yeah, I'm chasing down the pelicans as we speak because I'm obsessed with pelicans. Deb knows I'm obsessed with pelicans. Hey, Susan, I've completely forgot to tell you. Hey, Peter, how you going? And then we have Peter, who is the UK connection here, and it must be like, what, 10 o'clock at night for you? So now we have 3 Americans, 1 guy from the UK, and 3 people from Australia. I love that. We are the international connections here, guys, and we are chasing down a pelican. But Susan, I just wanted to tell you that, your idea, Susan. So guys in the chat, I've been walking along these beaches, walking with purpose. I did a walk for mental health. I think all you guys know this, but that 30k walk or 18-mile walk is done and dusted. But this is the beach I normally walk on, and I've been collecting sea glass, so hence why I've got a bucket. Oh, but still got that rubbish I need to get rid of. Okay, we'll get rid of that soon. Actually, we're going to get rid of that now, guys. So, guys, this is why I do this. This was on the beach, guys. It's a fishing hook with fishing line. If that pelican picked that up and got that lodged in its mouth, can you imagine? It would break my heart, guys. So let's just go chuck that in the bin right this minute. I've got sidetracked, guys. And then we'll get back to these guys, and then we'll get back to my bucket, which I've just left there. Because this is more important right now. I'm hate seeing this on the beach. And look, it might be accident too. The fisherman might have accidentally left it or something. It happens, accidents happen. But yeah, I did stand on this before. I must have walked past it. So anyway, at least I saw it. We get to chuck it away. So this guy here, this guy's is the Sunnies, they call it Sunnies, Seaballs. It's in a core hotel. So lots of people come stay here at the beach. And then we chuck this away. Now we can get back to the beach. Our pelicans are getting further afield. That's all right. Animals aren't, they don't work on our agenda. They just do what they want, and I love that. So guys, if Peter's still there, sorry I was distracted there, guys. Oh, it's almost 11 p.m. Okay, it's not that late, I guess. So Peter, you guys should check out Peter's channel. Okay, Peter, I'm just gonna put something here. So guys, Peter, I can't see his name, Newvarski. Actually, are you Polish originally? Is that your surname Polish? So Peter is a new friend of mine. Oh, there's a bit of sea glass, guys. Susan, I'll get back to the sea glass story that I was just going to tell you in a second. But Peter had this video, right? It really, like, a lot of us are here in the chat are content creators. Like, we make videos to, entertain the YouTube world, right? And I love that, I've met half of you guys from other people's lives, and now you're on my live, checking out my live, which is, it's really crazy, but it's cool. But, there's certain videos on people's pages that I really resonate with. And Peter, there was a video that you made. It's only like a 2-minute video about the highs and lows of being a YouTuber. And honestly, it's so good. You know the video I'm talking about, right? Because I've said it a few times, and Karen's also said how awesome it is. Could you possibly put the link in the chat? Because I think it's worth seeing. And like I said, there's videos I recommend, and I shared it on my community post because I just thought it was so clever the way you did it, and what you're talking about is real quality. Your granddad's Polish. Okay, cool. I thought so. Yeah. Have you ever been to Poland, Peter? I've actually never been to Poland. Yes, Peter, that's the chat. That's the video. If you could put that in the chat so that other people can click on it and check it out. I reckon, Susan, you'd appreciate the video. And look, other people, I mean, it's up to you. I'm not pushing anything on anyone. If you want to check it out. But I thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing enough that I shared it on my community post, guys. So that means anything to you. You have. Oh, so Susan, you've been to Poland. Cool. So Peter, have you been to Poland? To what's the capital? Krakow, isn't it? Krakow. It's beautiful, like cobblestone streets. I've been to Romania, so a couple of countries around it, but I've never been to Poland. And it's sad to say, but Warsaw is the capital. Oh, that's beautiful, Peter. So, what's that famous place? It's so sad. The place that is well known for the atrocities that happened there. And it's a moving tribute. Like, I mean, they reckon it's beautiful, but it's horrible at the same time. I can never say it. It's Austrus? You know the place I'm talking about, Susan and Peter. That's it, yeah. There you go. So Peter, when I refer to Susan, I'm talking about country homestead. She's a fellow Australian. So, yeah, look, I don't know if you guys follow the Izzy experience. Izzy is a lady living somewhere in the centre of America. I can't remember what state she is, but she's country kind of. And she is actually half Polish. Well, actually, she's Polish, altogether Polish. And I don't know, does anyone know who I'm talking about? And look, we've all well, not experienced, but so Peter, was your grandfather like anywhere attached to that kind of what happened, the atrocities that happened in that time? Because Izzy, her father was in the concentration camp. I don't think he was in that particular concentration camp, but he's got the stamp on his arm, on his hand. And oh God, the sun has come out, guys. Wowzers. Whoa. And she did this amazing, moving tribute to her dad on her channel, and it made me cry. Like, I mean, I've read the stories, I've seen, many articles about it. It's horrible what happened in that time, and like, I hope that never happens again. Like, honestly, but for the people that were in that concentration camp and that survived, horrible, horrible things. And I think her father might have been in that concentration camp or another concentration camp. And he hardly talked about that story to her because obviously he was very broken by that story. And then how that affected her childhood. And that when they came to America, like he covered up, he didn't want anyone to see that tattoo on his body because people would know that he was in the concentration camp. And back in the day, because I think she's about 65, and so back in the day when she was a little girl in America, people were frowned upon, I guess. She was kind of saying that people looked at her father. By accident, his tattoo was showed one day she was shopping in like a local market or something, and the tattoo was exposed, and that people saw it, and the face, like she said, the look on people's faces was like, she will never forget that look. And that would have been 60 years ago. So it was just, it actually made me cry because it was so, and it actually makes me tear up now because we are so lucky that we didn't have to go through that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, see, Peter, that just tells you how emotional that place is. And like, even thinking about it makes me tear up. I'm like, it's got nothing to do with me. But my friend Izzy, that I met on YouTube, like she's my first YouTube friend that I actually really connected with and, made friends and connected in the comments. We email each other now, and I sent her a postcard actually when I was traveling in Taiwan. But yeah, she has an amazing story about her father. I wish I could put that in the chat, but I can't because obviously I'm not alive. Yeah, turkey nest. And in recent history, yeah, exactly right. Like this, I mean, look, I don't want to start talking about politics, guys, but yeah, I'm not going to. I think yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about politics and what's happening in the world. But anyway, guys, look, there's a lovely boat that obviously is moored out here. They obviously stayed overnight out there. How beautiful. How absolutely beautiful is that? I think we can all agree there's stuff going on in the world that is just unthinkable. But, again, I don't like to talk about politics. And although I might touch on religion a little bit, I don't, like I say freely, that I'm not overly religious and that I believe in all faiths. So I try not to get into religion either. But Susan, okay, let me go back to my story, Susan, about sea glass. You are still there, Susan. I'm sure you're listening in the background. So Susan, for a bit of context, guys, so you know that you know what I'm talking about. I've been walking along this beach picking up sea glass. So you just saw me. I picked up some sea glass. I've still got some sea glass left over from another walk in here. So that's just bottles basically that's been broken on the beach and weathered by the ocean and sand. It's kind of beautiful, really, to be honest. And I love finding different colours. So Deb, yep, you're still there. I thought you would be. So Deb, if you're still there, you know how I love finding different coloured bits of sea glass, because the normal colours you find, guys, are going to be your beer bottle colours, and your clear, right? So my first project with this sea glass from my Walking with Purpose is I got a lampshade from an op shop, like a thrift shop. It's only a little lampshade, but I'm sticking the sea glass onto it. Now, on the live, Susan was there having a chat, as we do, because she likes to chat and I like to chat. And she goes, you know what would be a really good idea? Would be to paint splotches of colour on the white lampshade so that when the light comes through, the lampshade, the colours of on the like painted on the lampshade will illuminate. So I was like, oh my God, awesome idea. Awesome idea. Very, very good idea, Susan. So I was on a live the other day, and guess what I did? I did that thing. So you don't need to watch the live, Susan. Just imagine I have got all these splotches colours. So do you remember you suggested that I, on the bottom of the lamp bulb, or the base, should I say, do sand on the bottom, because I'm going like the sand on the bottom, and then it's blue, so I could do oceany colours painted on the base, and then I've got this lampshade, right? So I went with a blue theme. So the ocean can be blues and greens. So on the lampshade, I've got squashes of blues, greens, different kinds of greens, different kinds of blues going around in just like splotches. Some white, some splotches, yeah. So, and then I've got this, then I'll have the sea glass stuck on top of it. So basically where I left it on Sunday afternoon. So Sunday afternoon is show you my little garden. So Heather's backyard was on that afternoon. So she could see, where I was going, like what happened a week later with my little garden. So this Sunday afternoon, I'll do another live if you're around, Susan. And I'll show you, because I actually, you know what you're doing with gardening anyway, but I'm going to take out, the old seedlings, I'm going to take them out and put some new ones in there. But then I will also carry on with my sea glass. And you'll see the splotches. But anyway, where I left it, I was painting the splotches. And I was so excited because when I picked up and showed my sea glass, all the stuff I'd stuck from the last live when I was on the live with you was still stuck. By the end of the live, guess what happened? 3 bits of the glass had now fallen off. So I was like getting very frustrated, and I said, okay, I think it's time to stop this project. Let me show you the planter pots. So yeah, sometimes, things don't go to show. But anyway, that's all right. I'm all about being real. And there's a bit of sea glass. So Heather and I will be doing a live. Hopefully, I'm going to try to organise a live maybe next week sometime. I don't know the time when I'll be doing it because she's in Ireland, I'm in Australia, and she's going to show me how to make that into a bit of jewellery, as in like to wrap like jewellery wire around it to make a necklace or an earring. So stay tuned for that live. That's coming up. But this Saturday, my time. So Saturday, 10 a.m. for Australian people, and Friday night for people in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm doing a live with Kathleen's Place because, we want to chat and get to know each other because we've met in the chat, in the comments, should I say, and I watch her videos, she watches my videos, and she's been on my lives a lot, and I've been on her lives a lot actually. But she said, oh, how about we do a live together, because she talks about how she's got chronic fatigue syndrome, and she's been quite unwell. And there was a time in her life that she was so unwell that she was at home basically just stuck in a bed. So she took up art. And, art is very therapeutic. And, here I'm talking about mental health, guys, in my walks. And I said, you know what, it's so weird because, not weird, but I love to paint and then use watercolors while I'm on holidays. So when I'm traveling, I've done a couple of lives where I've showed you how I've painted, live while I've been looking at, a beautiful scenery. I was in Luxembourg, actually. I was sitting on a bridge, literally having a picnic while I painted this amazing view in front of me. And, why should it just be a holiday thing? I love painting. Like, when I stop and paint, it's so creative and it's so good for your mind and soul. And, I do talk about how I've got high energy. I'm very hyper, right? I'm into everything and anything, right? Not anything, but I like a lot of things. And, it's good for my mind to slow down. So that's why I do these walks, because I love to walk on the beach. So, to add to my excitement in life, I do a live at the same time. So that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, life doesn't make sense sometimes. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm doing a live this weekend with Kathleen's Place. It's in my live list. It's scheduled. I never schedule lives, guys. I just go live when I feel like a whim. So I have made a live and it's scheduled. If you want to drop in and say hello, I'll be doing, well, I haven't decided completely what I'm going to paint because obviously I'm going to be at home and Kathleen's at home. She's going to be doing acrylic paints because she wants to get back into painting. So I want to help her get back into painting and she's going to help me get back into painting we booked the live. She actually hassled me, not hassled me in a good way, like, hey, when are we doing this live? So she nailed me down, said, when are you available? I'm like, oh, because I'm available here, then and then. So I said, okay, let's go. So we're booked in. And so if you want to drop in and say hello, if you want to do the art at the same time, you're welcome. I'm doing it on StreamYard so that it'll be me and Kathleen doing our art. But, after we have a chat and get to know each other, putting it out there that if you are doing some artwork and you want to join the live, you can, because I think I'll be able to do that on StreamYard. I only have the free version, but, on StreamYard, you can actually have 10 people going on your page at the same time. If that excites you, you're welcome to check it out. If it doesn't, it's okay. I get it. So Peter, you just sent a video on Instagram that I think you'll really enjoy. It's emotional, but it's good. Can you put it in the, is it on your page? Oh, okay, that's weird. Okay, so Susan, I'll just say it out loud. Okay, if you want to spell it out. No, you don't have to put it in the chat. So it's Explorer, Xplora, Dora, Dora, at hotmail.com. That's it. So if you are a spammer out there, God damn it, if you start spamming me, I'll be upset. Okay, so we're going to pick up this rubbish. Chuck it in my bucket. Hey, Turkey Nest, nice to connect. And I'm glad you guys have all connected. Well, you and Susan, definitely. That's great. And see you again. If you have subbed to me, excellent. If you haven't, awesome. So these are stormwater drains. Sometimes these are completely covered over. So when I'm walking over here, it's all covered with sand. It's amazing how the tide changes and it moves the sand up and down. Okay, so we've caught up with the pelicans, guys. Of course, the pelicans are with the fishing guys because that's what they do. They are waiting for fish. They're not silly. They know where the food's at. Though I don't promote feeding wild animals. But in saying that, it is nice to see animals in the wild, just saying. I'm a big advocate for wild animals, even though I do have a quail in a cage at home. And I have one blind chicken in a cage at home. So I'm a bit of a hypocrite, guys. And the reason, there's always reasons, right? My blind chicken unfortunately gets attacked by our other chickens. They jump on her. And that's not right. I don't want to see my poor chicken getting, jumped on. She has to hide in the corner away from, our other chickens. So we put her in a cage. It's quite a big cage. She's living her best life. She's back giving us eggs, which is so amazing. And her eggs are like blue colour. Okay, here's Mr. Pelican. So Maddie, here's what you've been waiting for. So everyone, Maddie is my friend. Maddie the duck mama. So just stop here. I'm not going to go closer. Let him come to me if he wants to come to me. And I'll probably step away. Okay. So this is how tame these guys are because, I don't feel comfortable with a wild animal getting that close to me because I just think that even though it's comfortable near me, it shouldn't be comfortable near me. Like, I'm a human and we're horrible people. We leave rubbish on the beach that could hurt them. Oh my gosh, guys, are you seeing this? That's gonna poop. Oh my god, it's weed. Okay, people that know me, I am very into torch humour, okay, and that just hit the spot. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. So Peter, I'm just reading, this is about this Instagram post you just did or you saw. Can you share that in your community post at least? Because you are able to copy the link from Instagram and you can put it into your community post. I'd love to see that. Hey Mike, see, there you go. You get to see some Australian animals. Well, it's not exactly Australian, but it's an Australian pelican, okay, Mike? I know you didn't see the Australian koala the other day when I was doing a live. Like I said, animals don't work on our timeline. Sometimes we see them, sometimes we don't. And on Friday afternoon, guys, which would be Thursday night your time, or Thursday morning your time, I may go platypus chasing up at my mum's place. So when I say chasing, I'm not actually going to chase a platypus, but I am going to walk and try to find them. And again, it's 50-50. Sometimes I find them, sometimes I don't. The last live I did up at Mullaney, I saw about 2 platypuses and it was amazing. But then the time before that, a week before that, I didn't see them. So again, I'll do a live because I don't want to edit. I mean, I do like to edit. I am supposed to be editing a video for about going to Ibiza, and that Ibiza is more than just a party island. So Ibiza is an island it's a Spanish island in the Mediterranean, and it's well known for being a big party kind of island where, all the bad sins happen there. Lots of alcohol, lots of drugs, lots of sex. That's not why I went there, guys, just putting it out there. I went there to hear the DJ music because it's an island where all the big DJs play. But it's more than that. I went hiking a few times. It's got this beautiful old cobblestone town. It's just absolutely stunning. So anyway, that is in the make. I've half edited, but you know what? I got sidetracked this week. So guys, I'm actually applying for a job as we speak. Today is my day off. Oh, perfect, Peter. Thank you for tagging me. I will check that out. I did hear that, Peter, that he came face to face with the mountain lion. Yeah, that actually just freaks me out. So guys, I'm actually applying for a job. So Susan, I was trying to tell you this before. I'm applying for a job with Jayco. So Jayco is caravan, and they do vans and pop-up trailers and stuff. So they're all around the world, but there's Jayco Australia. They're offering a job for one lucky person. It's called the best job in the world, where it's a 1-year contract, and they give you a van or a pop-up trailer or whatever. It depends on your ability to drive. And personally, my car's not going to tow a big ass trailer, and I don't want to drive a big ass trailer. I would like to get a van. So, I'm putting it out there to the universe. A big van. I want a van. My goal is to do van life one day. We'll have a van. But the job is basically you get given a van and they give you a salary. They pay for the expenses. And basically your job is to go and promote Jayco and Australia to Australians. I mean, obviously, you guys are welcome that are in Northern Hemisphere to watch that, but it's to promote it to Australians because Australians are the ones that are going to buy another Jayco van. So the job is basically to travel, create content around living in a van or living on a trailer or a pop-up camper or whatever, and your journey around Australia, meeting other travelers and interviewing them. So my application, I have to do a 1-minute video telling them why I'd make a good Jayco RV correspondent and where would I like to go in Australia. So that's what I'm working on today. Yesterday afternoon I did a whole lot of videoing. I'm just going to move you from this little beautiful site for a second. So just north of here, about 15 minutes this way, the same suburb of Redcliffe, the same area, it's a place called Scarborough, and it's got these red cliffs. So where I live in a place called Redcliffe. That's the name of the whole region. The peninsula is Redcliffe. I live in the suburb in Redcliffe. This beach I'm at now is Margate Beach. We were just there, and that was Redcliffe area. And then a bit north of that is Scarborough. And in Scarborough, they have these red cliffs, hence why Redcliffe is called Redcliffe. Okay, Mr. Pelican's on the walk. I don't like being this close, I've got to be honest. I should probably back away. But remember, he did come to me, and I have a feeling that he thinks that my bucket has food. So I'm sorry, Mr. Pelican, I don't actually have food for you, and I wouldn't feed you because I don't feed wildlife. But I'm not going to move, I'll just stay here. And if you come closer, I will back away. Because, oh my God, guys, I am just in awe. This little guy is so gorgeous. Yeah, so Mike, it would be an amazing job, right? So, yes, I need to learn how to make better stories, that's for sure. I need to be a better storyteller. So, Maddie, I know it's not a duck, but I tell you, isn't that beautiful? I knew you'd love this, Maddie. Maddie, you seem to come on when I'm always seeing animals, which is so good. Okay, would you like to hear my spiel? Okay, guys, so I won't turn it to my face, right? But just this is my spiel, right? I've done many spiels. I've got to keep it down to a minute, okay? So that's not a lot of time. So my why is, and like they also want, okay, these are the things they want. They want someone that's well traveled. They want someone that can tell stories, someone that has social, that knows the way around social media, that has a presence. I do have a presence, but I'm not huge. But I don't think they need a huge presence. Otherwise, So like, it's one of these things, right, guys? I'm going to be in it to win it, and it'll be a good experience. I have done a few of these before. Like, there's been different competitions, and you've got to make a minute video. So I've had a little practice, and I'll actually really enjoy it. So if anything, it's a good experience. But this is my why. Now, let me have some water first.
See, he thinks I'm getting something out of the bucket to feed him. Sorry, I'm getting water. I'm getting water. Thanks, Maddie. Thanks, guys. It does have my name all over it, but it might have someone else's name on it too. So, whoever's the best person for the job will get the job, and I actually mean that. But like any job interview or application, you have to put your heart into it and see where it goes, right? So, guys, so my why is that, and Australians will get this, right? Let me just think of the song. I'm going to try to sing it, a little bit of it. I've been to New York, Rio, and old London town, but I've never seen my own backyard. What I mean by that is I've been to the red cliffs of Redcliffe, but I've never seen the red earth of the centre of Australia, like that big red rock. I've never been. And when I travel, my alter ego is Dora, and I was named that when I was traveling around Brazil because I've always got a backpack on and it's just stuck. So when I meet travellers, they're like, "Oh, you're from Australia? Yeah, yeah. I went to Australia last year, and I did this and I did that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, and where was your favourite bit?" "Oh, Uluru, the Red Rock, Ayers Rock. It's amazing. Have you been?" I'm like, "No, I haven't been." So here's Dora. I've been to the Eiffel Tower. I've been to the Great Pyramids of Giza, but I've never been to the centre of Australia. So that's my kind of why, guys. Now, that's not how I'm going to say it in a video. I've got to edit that and, make it sound amazing. But, at the same time, I've got to make it real. Like, I'm not going to sell myself to be something I'm not. I put it out to my Facebook friends, like, what they thought. And they all just said, "You know what? You're well traveled enough, but you haven't seen your own backyard. That's your why. That is literally your why." And I mean, that is my why, guys. You know, I've seen 62 countries, but I've not seen my own country. I have seen a lot of it. I mean, I won't lie. I mean, I've been up to northern Queensland. I've seen the amazing Daintree rainforest, which is friggin' phenomenal, right? So, Turkey Nest. Have you been up to the Daintree? Because you're up from far north Queensland. I've been to, I mean, obviously, I've been to Melbourne and Sydney. I've been to an amazing place out of Sydney called the Blue Mountains, which they have these amazing three sisters, these mountains that look like three, well, they call it the Three Sisters, but they're the three mountain peaks together, and they're just beautiful. I've hiked around that area, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I've also been to the Great Barrier Reef, and I snorkeled out in the Great Barrier Reef, which, very iconic for, Australia. I've been to the Whitsunday Islands and seen the beautiful Whitehaven beaches. But, these are all like very Instagrammy kind of places. I've been to Tasmania, and I absolutely love Tasmania. I did a van life around Tasmania. I videoed it. I've not even edited it to put on YouTube yet. I will one day. So I've hired vans quite a few times because I really like the idea of van life and what it brings. You can be out in nature and just very living off, remotely kind of thing. But my real goal is to do a trip out to the middle of Australia. So where I live, to get to the Big Rock or Central Australia, I actually haven't timed it, but I'd say it's probably driving, probably about, oh shit, you know what? I don't know. It's more than Sydney to. So Sydney's 9-10 hours away from me. Oh my god, he just did a 360 with his neck, guys. Um, it's probably, if I just drove straight. Like, I'm not going to drive straight. Let's face it. It's probably a 2-day drive, okay, with sleepovers. But we're talking. You need a 4-wheel drive, and you need to be like very self-sufficient. Like, you need to be able to carry petrol. You need to be able to carry water because we're talking really remote places. The internet doesn't, like your cell reception doesn't work. So if you run out of petrol, you're screwed because some of these roads are like people don't travel on them. Like, you could wait a day to be seen. If you have an accident, man, you're in trouble. And they're like long roads, and they're just straight, which doesn't sound very hard to drive on, but apparently you just get so like the momentum of just driving straight with nothing on the side to kind of entertain you and that's when people have accidents. So a lot of people fly, right? So one of my girlfriends, she just did a marathon around Uluru. So that's the Red Rock. We call it Uluru. The English word for it is Ayers Rock, but we are all trying to start using the native word for it, or indigenous word, which is Uluru, which means Red Rock in our Aboriginal, our first people of our country. And I think we should respect that. Now, you used to be able to climb the rock too, and it used to be quite dangerous. I never did. I've never been, obviously, but they did close it off about a couple of years ago out of respect, because it is a actual, a sacred spot for the Indigenous people. So they have closed it off, and plus it was dangerous. People have died walking up it. So there was a big rush before they closed it for people to go up it. So I just think that's a little bit nasty that people rushed to go do it before it closed. But anyway, that's where I want to go, and I want to share the content on the road. Like, it's not about it's not about the destination. It's about the journey, right? Like, what you see along the way, the people you meet, the stories that people tell you, and to share that. Like, so anyway, I videotaped it all yesterday. I could probably have about 30 videos that I need to cut and edit into something that's decent, into a 1 minute video too. So that's not easy. So anyway, that's what I'm doing today, and it is 8:23 a.m. in the morning here on Wednesday. I really should be getting home, but I'm just unfortunately starstruck here. Mr. Pelican is like totally giving us a show. So if you guys have just drowned me out, I get it. It's okay. And someone said in the chat before, this is like National Geographic. Man, I'd love to be like a photographer for National Geographic. Can you imagine how fun that would be? And Pete, I love that. Sometimes your journey changes your destination, which is an amazing feeling. Exactly right. So I'll keep you updated about that little process. It's got to be in by Thursday night. So this is my day to do it. Oh my gosh, look at his eyes. Let me zoom in, guys. Look at those eyes, guys. He's fleeing himself. Like birds, how, I don't know if anyone in the chat has chickens, but chickens, they dust bath themselves. They lie in the dirt and they just fluff basically dirt all over their wings. It's so beautiful. So I don't think pelicans do that. I think this is what they do. They're cleaning themselves. So that's what he's doing. He's having a bath in front of us, guys. This is a little bit intimate what we're doing here. We're watching a pelican have a shower. Isn't it interesting, the beaks on it? Like, it's got a bit of yellow on the beak. And it's pink. Look at that colour. Mother Nature is just amazing. And to put that, I've got to say, it's one of the fabulous birds. Maddie, I know we love ducks, but honestly, a pelican is something else. So some mornings there can be see, actually, here, guys. See down here, there's actually 3 more pelicans. Oh, there's 4 pelicans down there, guys. I don't know if you can see that. There's a couple of pelicans down there. There's 4 of them floating around there. So some days you can get 5 of them together, but I think this one's the one that they kind of pick on, because I've seen the 4 of them together and they kind of just like pick, and this one's kind of like isolates itself on the beach. So I think this is the one that is a little bit of a loner. Oh, here comes another one. Oh my gosh, guys, you're getting a show today. I love how they fly like that. Look at the wingspan. It's just amazing. So let me just distract you for a second. So we've got some stand-up paddleboarders out here. Absolutely beautiful day for stand-up paddleboarding, guys. Wow. So guys, this is Redcliffe, southeast Queensland. We're about 30 minutes away from Brisbane City. So Brisbane's the capital of Queensland. And this is a place called Redcliffe, a little seaside village. And just a story, I used to come here as a small child for holidays, on school holidays. My dad was a school teacher. We lived in the country, about an hour and a half from here. And on school holidays, we would come to a place called Queen's Beach, which is just in the same suburb. This is in the peninsula of Redcliffe, where I was yesterday actually, filming for that job I'm going to try to apply for. So we used to come here for school holidays. And then when my dad semi-retired, he wanted to retire in where we went on holidays because he loved this area. He thought it was like a beautiful place to retire. So my dad, lived to 76 years old, and he would be walking along this beach most mornings. So that's where I get my walking from. And I'm very grateful that my dad did that, because now I get to live in this paradise because of my dad. A lot of my friends have moved away because they wanted to go to Brisbane. But me personally, I love this. I live 5 minutes away from here. I get to watch the sunrise in the morning, and I get to come down here, walk on this beach, and look at this amazing animal for free too. Like, I could go to the movies, but why would I go to the movies? I don't want to see something fake on a big screen. This is a movie theatre to me. And I think, Maddie, you agree, this is your movie theatre. Oh, Turkey Nest. That would have been an amazing, amazing drive. See, that's why I need to do it, Turkey Nest. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, I say that I've been to 62 countries, but I've not actually gone to the middle of Australia. I mean, how embarrassing is that? As a traveller, I can't say that I'm really a traveller if I've not actually been to my own backyard. So I've got a little dog here. He's checking out the pelican. All right, guys, we're not going to go that way. We're going to walk back. Hope you enjoyed the show. As I tell you, I enjoyed watching that pelican. That was amazing. So have you never flown overseas before, Maddie? Well, I mean, you live in an amazing country too. America's very vast. Even though I love travel, I love my own backyard too. Even though I haven't been to the centre of Australia, regardless if I, get this job or not, I am going to go, guys. I am going to go to the centre of Australia. I have to see. And like, what you just said, Turkey Nest, about driving, I think that would be such a good way to see the land. I have been to Cobar before, interestingly enough. I used to do a job selling timeshare. I did it was basically selling timeshare on the road. So we would go from town to town doing timeshare presentations. Anyway, that was a different world I lived in. But yeah, we went to Cobar. And is it a gold mining town? I think it's a gold mining town. It's kind of like in the middle, well, it's nearly in the middle of Australia, kind of nearly in the middle. The middle of Australia is very big. So that is why, if you read the comments of Peter, now that is a doggy bag. Hopefully there's no, oh my God. I hope there's no poo in that. No, okay, cool. That's a poo bag for dogs. Let's chuck that away though. I thought there might have been poo in it. So that's why I want to travel to the middle of Australia so I can actually say that I've been to the middle of Australia. Okay, that is a really nice bit of sea glass, guys. See how, I don't know if you can see it, but it's nicely rounded. So it's not sharp. It's beautifully weathered by the ocean. Oh no, Turkey. I don't mean it like I'm that. I'm not horribly embarrassed. I'm just saying sarcastically that it is embarrassing. Like, you know, when I say I've been to 62 countries, it does sound like I'm a bit of a, you know, okay, I shouldn't swear, but I was going to say I feel like a bit of an idiot, right? Like, I'm skiting about my conquests. But, my goal is to see 80 countries. That's my goal. But, in my little, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, guys. Okay. Oh my God, guys. Have I just found a bit of red sea glass or is that plastic? And this is my problem, right, guys? I did a live a couple of weekends ago and I thought I found red plastic. Sorry, red glass. Now, a bit of story, guys. You don't find coloured glass very often. But how do I tell if that's plastic? Because I found this bit of red glass and then I found a bit of bigger red glass next to it and realised it was plastic, guys. Now, I'm looking on the ground here. There's no more red stuff. But how am I going to tell if that is actually glass or if that's plastic? Does anyone know? I don't know, guys. I'm actually put it in here and we'll see later. Okay, Peter, good question. What is your goal once you've accomplished 80 countries? Well, probably to keep on traveling, obviously. Like, there's more than 80 countries in this world. And someone asked me one day, why did you just pick 80? And honestly, I just picked it out of my head. Like, I was in my 20s and I had just started traveling. I went to New Zealand. New Zealand is my first kind of place I went traveling with my a girlfriend and a guy friend. So previous to that, as a child, because I'm half Indonesian, I went to Indonesia. So on my way to Indonesia, my first country that I ever traveled was Singapore. And we're going to go back 45 years, probably more 43 years ago. No, probably no, 47 years ago, probably when I was about 3 years old. A 3-year-old. I don't remember this, right, guys? But apparently, the stench of Singapore and the markets made me vomit. So my mum actually had to leave me in the hotel. So, back in the day, now that would be very frowned on, but mum left me with the receptionist at the hotel so she could actually go to the market. And she took my younger sister. Oh, that's sea glass has got like seagrass over it. Oh my God. Oh, we'll take that. That's interesting. Now it's a bit yucky. Yeah, so my first experience in an Asian country was Singapore and I vomited everywhere. So my mum had to leave me, with a receptionist. And then we go to Indonesia. And then sometimes we would fly through Malaysia to Indonesia. So you couldn't get a flight straight to where my mum's from, Sumatra. So then Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, is another place that we used to go to. And then I, used to go when I was about, 13. Yeah, I went a lot while I was younger. Not a lot, but a handful of times, right? So I do remember a bit as a child, as a teenager. And Malaysia is amazing. Since being a teenager, I have traveled to Malaysia. I love Malaysia. They speak the same language as Indonesia. We have someone riding a bike on the beach. You don't see that very often, guys, just saying. I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh, anyway, so Malaysia, and then obviously my first country by myself as an adult was New Zealand. And I don't know, I just started liking travel, and always wanted to do the Kentucky trip. I don't know if you guys have heard of Kentucky. That's a big chunk. So Kentucky is a travel company that you're got to be under 30, and basically it's okay. I don't think we've got people under 16 here in the chat, but anyway, if you do, close your ears. It's basically just a drink and sex fest for under 30-year-olds, okay, that want to travel the world. That's not the reason why I wanted to do the Kentucky trip, okay, guys, just saying, okay. But it's just like, it's fun, like, okay, because you're meeting other people your age from different countries. You get to travel with, friends that, other friends, other new people that you meet, but you're basically going on a bus, and you have a tour leader that's basically your tour mother on the trip, that basically yells at you for being late to get on the bus. So it sounds horrific, and I'm glad I didn't do it, to be honest. But I really wanted to do a Kentucky tour, because that's the way, I get to see Europe. You get to see 18 countries in 7 days, that's what they advertise. I might be being a bit sarcastic here, guys, okay? But anyway, so I couldn't find any of my girlfriends that wanted to do that with me. Everyone wanted to do it, but no one could afford it at the time I wanted to go. And then one of my girlfriends had started traveling, and she was backpacking by herself and meeting up with friends, and her sister was living in the UK. And I thought, stuff this, why am I going to pay to do a Kentucky tour if no one wants to come with me? I don't want to do a Kentucky tour, I'll do it by myself. So my friend was over in Europe at the time, traveling. So I thought, stuff it, I'm going to do it too. So I was working 3 jobs to save up to go traveling. So I had a full-time job. I was working in a shoe shop. At night time, I was working at Woolworths, packing shelves. I'd get home at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, sleep till 7:30 in the morning, get dressed, drive to work, to a shoe shop, sell shoes all day. And then my day off, I had 2 days off a week, but one of my days off, I used to merchandise for a company, Bona Vista, which is DVDs and videos back in the day. So that's how I ended up getting into my next career, which is repping. But anyway, that got me to save faster, because I'm not from a rich family. My parents, my dad was a lot older than my mother, and yeah, we're just a normal family. I didn't have rich parents, grandparents that left me any money. Didn't have a sugar daddy, though I was looking for one. But I didn't have that, so I had to save money like a normal person. And yeah, I did. And I tried to do it as cheap as I can, because I am a cheap ass. So I booked a 3-month ticket. I quit my jobs. I was 24 years old. Yeah, I quit my job. I went for 3 months. I bought a Euro ticket, which is a under 25-year-old. I think it's under 27. I don't know. But it's a cheaper ticket for youth to travel cheaper. And it's a cheaper way to get on the buses and the trains around the country. I had a Lonely Planet, and that is how I booked my holiday. I didn't pre-book any holidays. I flew to London. My friend's sister came and got me from a train station, or tube, should I say, and took me to her friend's house. And I stayed in a house in London for one night. This house had it was like a 2-story house, probably had 3 bedrooms in it. But there was no joke, 12 Australians living in this house. And they'd converted a chicken hut into a house in the backyard. And I stayed in a chicken house, no joke. And in the middle of the night, the guys who was sleeping in, that was supposed to be awake, came home that night. So how bad was that? I'm sleeping in some guy's random bed in a chicken house, and he comes home and I'm lying in his bed. So I don't know where he went, but I slept in that bed, and I couldn't wait to get out of the house the next morning. I felt so awkward. I didn't know these people. And look, at 24, I was not the Dora that I am today. I was very shy. Someone said to me, one of my favourite bosses said to me, Dora, you need to travel, because when you travel, you will learn all these skills and you will come out of yourself. So let's just say that 3 month trip through Europe, I came out of myself. I had to rely on myself, my own skills, and learn some skills that I didn't know I had. And now I'm the person I am today because of that story. But very, another story from it is I nearly didn't become that person because I went from Dover. I went the bus down to Dover, from London to Dover, and then you get a ferry from Dover to Calais, which is the port in France. Now, I don't speak any French, guys, but I have a Lonely Planet that has a bit of all the languages in Europe that that you might need. Just a little bits like hello, how are you, where's the toilet? the the main things you need to know, guys, right? And so I get to Calais. I'm exhausted, right? I've just come to the UK for the first time. I'm very green to traveling. It's exhausting because you're just so like out of the box. And I probably didn't sleep well the night before because there's some random guy woke me up and I'm sleeping in a chicken house. And I'm sleeping in his bed. But anyway, so I get to Calais and you can't stay in Calais. So I got the train to Lille. So Lille is a place that's famous from, not famous, well, I guess it's famous, from World War II, where a lot of, I think it's called Flanders Fields. It's, if you're, if you're into history and, wars and stuff, it is quite a famous place. Anyway, so here I'm in Lille, but it's not famous as in, like, it's not very touristy it's not very touristy, okay, guys? Well, maybe back then. I'm talking 25 years ago, guys. And I get there and I'm in the train station and I'm like trying to work out how to read a map. I'm that green, okay, guys? I'm trying to read a map in my book. And this is not, we don't have computers by this age, guys. No internet for me. So I'm trying to read a map. I can't figure it out. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I've got a big backpack on my back. I've got 3 months of this ahead of me and I am overwhelmed. And I'm like, shit, I can't figure out where the hostel is, right? So I'm asking people, parlez-vous English? Do you speak English? Because I'm trying to ask them directions to get to this hostel, right? No one would stop and talk to me. So I'm like, parlez-vous English? I was like, bonjour, parlez-vous English? Sorry. Hello, parlez-vous English? Oh, bonjour, parlez-vous English? So hello, do you speak English? Because I'm trying to find someone that speaks English, right? No one stops, right? No one stops. I'm like about to cry. So I get a phone card, go to a phone box. If you're young on here, you're like, what the hell's that? But yeah, back in the day, we didn't have mobile phones. We had to use a phone card. And they gave us minutes to ring different countries. So you put a code into the phone, tick, 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 dial the number or tap the number. So I ring my dad. And I'm like, Dad. And I start crying. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm in Lille and no one will speak to me. And my dad says to me, right, he goes, Lille is not exactly a touristy place. Get back on the train and go somewhere busy, like more touristy, like Paris. And like Paris, I've always wanted to go to Paris, right? So I was always going to go to Paris. But I just was kind of like, let's just go somewhere quick and easy first. So that was where my head was at, right? So anyway, I get back on the train and I go to Paris. Now, I arrived to Gare Niort. I'm not saying this right, guys. But Niort is one of the, Gare Niort, okay, I'm not even saying it right. The main train station that a lot of tourists come into. There's a lot of big train stations in Paris, right? And it comes in and it also connects to the metro. So it's a big place. So I get there. I'm like, okay, I'm here. Now, now I need to figure out where I'm going, right? And I need to buy a metro ticket and figure out how the metros work. And again, I am even more overwhelmed and winded up now, right? So I'm going, parlez-vous English? Sorry. Bonjour, parlez-vous English? And no one's stopping, right, guys? So anyway, a lady stops and happens to be this lady with beautiful orangey red hair. She was gorgeous. And she speaks Australian or English. She's like, hello, what's wrong? and she's got an American accent. She goes, "Oh, I'm actually American. I'm a student living in Paris." She goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Oh, I said, look, could you help me? I'm like, I've just got here and I'm really, I think I'm just overwhelmed. And she said, look, hey, I'm going across the road to McDonald's. How about you come with me and I'll tell you how it all works." So we went over to McDonald's. I got a drink or whatever I did there, and we sat down. And basically, she just said, "Look, chill down. It's all good. You got your Lonely Planet, like I did. What was your plans when you got to Paris?" I said, "Oh, I was going to go to." So back in the day, there used to be information desks at most big places, train stations or areas, and then they're the ones that book your accommodation for you. They would ring the backpacker hostel and say, "Is there any accommodation? Yep, this is the price. How many days do you want to stay? Whatever." So I guess it's like booking.com, right? But it's just an information place. So that was my plan. Like I had a Lonely Planet that had all the backpacker hostels, so I knew kind of where I wanted to stay. But obviously, I don't speak French to call up them and say, "Can I spend the day there or night there?" So I go across the road. She tells me how to use the metro, buy the 10 tickets. That's cheaper to do that way. And they call them billets, little billets. Billets is a ticket. And then back in the day, they were little green cards. It's cheaper that way to buy them. So I was like, okay, cool. So anyway, so now I know how it all works, right? Kind of. So I go to the information, I book accommodation, and then I end up I use the metro, I go to this backpacker hostel, I meet, what do you know, 3, 4 other Australian backpackers, all singly backpacking by themselves. So we all make friends, and then we all travel together to the next couple of places. Yeah, so anyway, moral of my story is I nearly didn't become the backpacker or the traveller Dora that we see here today, because I nearly was like, I'm going back to England because they all speak English there. So anyway, sorry I neglected the chat, but I was on a rant, guys. I'm nearly back to my car. Hopefully someone got something out of that. So no turkey nest, I meant the chicken house had been converted to bedrooms. So they had I think they had 3 different rooms constructed out of this chicken house, and they had mattresses, not the chickens didn't live in it anymore. I love that that's where the story got to you. Hey, Paul, how you going? So Paul, I've just been on a rant, as I do. I don't know if you heard that. I was just telling the story about how I became Dora the Explorer by traveling Europe for the first time, and how it very nearly didn't happen, and that I nearly ended up going back to England because I couldn't speak French and no one would speak to me. But anyway, how are you, Paul? We've had an interesting chat this morning, guys. We've had lots of nice people on the chat. So Paul D, Australia, guys, is my fellow Australian. See, another Australian. We've had Susan on. We've had Turkey Nest here. Paul is a new person to the chat. He's from, or I don't know, are you he or a she? I'm not sure. You haven't told us your name. That's okay. Not everyone wants to share. I have asked, but that's okay. They are from far north Queensland. So we have had the Australian connection today, guys. And then we've got Peter, and I can't say his name very well. He's Peter with Uderski. His father's from Polish, or his grandfather's from Poland. So we've had a good chat about Poland, and he's shared something on his community post that I cannot wait to go look at about Polish history and World War II, because we talked a little bit about today. And then we've been talking about homesteading, because Susan is good for that. And then we had another channel, Turkey Nest. I don't remember the channel's name. Something off-grid living. So that was a really good chat about off-grid living. So yeah, we've gone around in a few circles today, but it's been fun. But you know how it all works, Paul. It's 6 degrees down there, Paul. Oh my gosh. So guys, Paul D Australia is my mate from Victoria. So he's in the same state that Susan is, and he's actually from the same region where he used to live near Susan. They don't know each other, but he's now moved to an island called Phillip Island, which is an island that's about 29 kilometers squared. Is that right? I always get it wrong. And yeah, it's a little island. It is joined to the mainland of Victoria by a bridge, or you can get a ferry if you wanted to. But he does a lot of content around walking around his island and travels that he's done around Australia and overseas. So if that floats your boat, you should check out Paul D's channel. And actually, Paul, you would appreciate a video that Peter Uvansky made. Peter, would you mind dropping that link to that video that I was talking about that I loved of yours, that you put in the link before, the channel, or the chat, should I say? I think, Paul, you would actually really appreciate this video that he made. It's very, very clever, and it's for people that, are doing YouTube. You just appreciate it. It's very clever. I like it. So anyway, we did see the sunrise, Paul, this morning. It was overcast and cloudy, but it was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So guys, as in normal terms, I've been talking a long time. It's been a fun chat, guys. Appreciate you guys jumping in. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. There was a lot of different conversations. And maybe the conversations didn't resonate with you. That's fine. Or maybe another conversation did. Maybe you made some friends. I'm all about you guys connecting in the chats, because that's how I've connected with a lot of you guys. So Paul D Australia is a guy I made friends with him through comments on another fellow Australian's channel. So I made friends from the chats with him. But Peter I made friends with from Karen's live, and Mike Adventures. So Mike Adventures, Mike Adventures Sparks and Paul D Australia, you guys should check out each other's channels too, because Mike does content. He lives in Minnesota, and he does content very similar, I guess, to yours, Paul. So I think you guys would actually connect quite well. So please connect, guys. I mean, you don't have to. If you'd like to connect, do that. And Deb, good night, mate. Am I coming back tonight? Probably not, just because I'm applying for that job, and I'm going to be editing all day, trying to get that down to 1 minute and make it interesting. Probably not. I'll see you tomorrow morning though, Deb, if you're around. So your time, the afternoon, I will go for a walk again on the beach in the morning, okay? So, yeah, guys, I'm down to 14% of my battery in my phone. And yeah, as I said, I've got a day off today, but I need to edit this video for this job that I'm going to. Paul, I'm so excited. Yeah, you heard me say yesterday afternoon on the chat. It did clock off yesterday. I don't know what happened. The connection dropped out. Typical. But you heard all things. So today I've got to edit. So anyway, I'm procrastinating on the beach, walking with you guys, telling you stories about XYZ. So I've got to go. Anyway, nice to see you guys. Appreciate you being on the chat. Look after yourselves. Have a good day walking, Paul, today. Bye, Deb. Enjoy Colorado. See ya, Mike. See ya, Peter. Turkey Nest, nice to meet you. Did you subscribe to me? Are you a public subscriber? If you're a public subscriber, I can see your channel. Hey, Miss Paula, good to see you. I'm going, mate. I've been talking for like a long time, rabbiting on and on and on. You know what I do. But anyway, good to see you, Paula. Paula Does Retirement is very funny. If you're interested in like funny skits on, look, just as a saying, she's worth a look because she's hilarious. Anyway, I've got to go, guys. Bye.